And today with us in studio to speak to us about the trial opened and more is pro-Israeli speaker and influencer Hananya Naftali. Hananya, thank you so much for joining us in studio today.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Now, the Pittsburgh shooting, the mass attack, one of the deadliest, if not the deadliest shooting attack in the United States ever in history. 11 worshippers murdered to death, shot. How much attention does this case get in the United States in the media? How widespread is it actually?
Well, I have to tell you just the fact that really drives me crazy, that we're talking here about the deadliest anti-Semitic attack in U.S. history. And the fact that the debate in the court right now, I think that the audience needs to understand that the debate in the court is what were his motives. I mean, are you kidding me? You enter a synagogue with a gun, shooting every Jewish person that you see, and yet in the court they're debating whether it's an anti-Semitic motive or not. This is a joke. If you're entering a synagogue with a gun with the aim to shoot human beings without arguing them, without talking with them, only because they're Jews, this is an anti-Semitic attack. And to those people that cast doubt about that, I recommend them to go to the graves of the 11 murdered Jews and ask them if this was an anti-Semitic attack or not. This is just shameful.
It definitely is. Now, the murderer, Robert Bowers, he's a known anti-Semite, as you're saying. He has shown no remorse. That's maybe the craziest thing that we have. I mean, many years have passed. I mean, a few years have passed. Is he getting much online support from like the anti-Semitic community, from people like online? Well,
from what I've seen on social media is that it feels like people are tired of it's all about the Jews. That's what they're projecting on social media, and it's quite sad, because if you zoom out for a second and you look at all the hate crimes that were committed in the United States alone, in 2021 the FBI released a report that 60% of hate crimes in the United States targeted Jews. Now, mind you, the Jews are 2.4% of the entire U.S. population, 0.2% of the world's population, and yet so much hate is directed at us. So we have to talk about this, because if we don't speak out, who will? You know, Jews for centuries, they were persecuted, massacred, exterminated. And if we learned one thing, is that when people threaten us, our annihilation, our destruction, we have to stand up and we believe those that threaten our lives. So I think that the cause of the Jews, anti-Semitism, is not just a Jewish problem, it's a humanity problem, because they may start with the Jews, but it's never going to end with the Jews. It's blind hate. It's the cause of all humans.
Definitely. Now, anti-Semitism, we spoke about it many times together, spiking in the United States, around the world. Robert Bowers, a trial like his, is it something that can avoid anti-Semitism and crimes like this, or maybe even bring copycats, I mean, to do what he did? I mean, it's going to be a high-profile trial, actually, seen all around the world.
I fully agree with you. And I think that the United States needs three solutions to anti-Semitism. Number one, it's to make Holocaust education compulsory in schools, because speaking about anti-Semitism, and if we want to build a better future, we need to learn about the past and horrors of the past. Number two, law enforcement should be trained on how to deal with hate crimes. And number three, social media. A lot is going on social media. It's this world square and world center where everybody is coming and debating, and it's a powerful tool. We can debunk anti-Semitic lies, tell our story, the story of the Jews, that at the end of the day, we're normal human beings. We want to go to work, go back home to our children, our wives, without getting stabbed, without being hated. This is all, it's as simple as that.
It's true. Now, Hananya, you as a social media expert, I mean, you're there the whole day and you see what's happening now. You see the trends, you see what's happening. Do you see more good, I mean, anti-Semitism-wise, or maybe different sides? I mean, only the bad. What's more? What do you see? What are the trends? What do you see these days?
Well, I see a lot of support for Israel, but I also see this new kind of anti-Semitism. We call it modern anti-Semitism, that they say we don't hate the Jews, we only hate Israel. So it's the new modern anti-Semitism is anti-Zionism. And let me tell you a secret: you can't hate the one and only Jewish state without hating the Jews. So we do see this kind of new anti-Semitism in disguise, but it's really the same ugly anti-Semitism, the same blind hate that served the Nazis when they exterminated 6 million Jews, sending Jews to the gas chambers and murdering them, shooting them, only because they're Jews. And that's exactly, in a way, what the shooter had done. He entered the synagogue. He didn't care what were their names, who are they, discussing with them. The fact that they were Jews was enough for him to shoot them and take their lives.
Many Jews also oppose the death penalty. That's something really interesting here. What can be done actually in this case? I mean, many Jews oppose it. This is where it's going. I mean, it's supposed to be going. Where do you see it going actually?
I think that it's best for the United States to decide for themselves how they are dealing with blind hate, while keeping in mind that now it is the Jews that are being target of hate crimes. But what are they going to do when it's going to be other groups of faith? Because we have seen also shooting attacks in churches and in also mosques worldwide. That French woman, Jewish woman that was murdered in Paris, and they casted doubts. It's always about casting doubt that, oh, the shooter was mental ill. So I think that that's just unacceptable. And Jewish lives matter, just like all lives matter.
Totally true, Hananya. Thank you for the strong message always. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.